E-A-G-L-E-S. Eagles.
And welcome in, everybody, to the JAKIB Halftime Show. Week 17 of the NFL here. And the Philadelphia Eagles look like they're finding their stride here late in the year. We've had many halftime shows this year where we've talked about good, we've talked about bad. And one thing the Eagles have had to do lately is put two halves together. So we'll hope they do that here in the second half. But to me, this team looks maybe the best they've looked all year from top to bottom. The offense looks like they've completely found their rhythm. Jalen Hurts looks back to himself, and the defense looks like they keep getting better and better. So the Eagles have the lead here 13-0 at halftime. Some really great drives. I thought they were going to have a chance to go up, put another touchdown in at the end. The drive ultimately stalled in the red zone. But overall, I thought it was a really good half of football, not only for the defense, but for Jalen Hurts as well. I thought he was tremendous, man. There was that one drive there that ultimately resulted in a field goal because of the bad missed PI call on A.J. Brown. But I thought Jalen had a great half. I mean, several drives, that one drive there, multiple third downs, a 3rd and 4 to DeVonta Smith in a tight window, a 3rd and 10 to A.J. Brown. And then he had that 3rd and 12 where he escaped kind of the pass rush. And then there was a penalty call, which kept the drive alive. And then that obviously ended with the incompletion to A.J. Brown. Looked like a pass interference. Pretty easy call they missed there to me. Let's bring Johnny Mack up on the halftime show right now. Jay Mack, what's going on, man? Eagles up 13-0 at halftime right now. What'd you make of that first half from the Philadelphia Eagles?
Ooh, yeah. See you in Santa Clara, man.
Yeah, man.
Ooh, if that team shows up, look out. I think that is arguably the best half of football they played this season. Great offensively, great defensively. The pass rush is just unbelievable, and it's gotten better and better as the year goes on. Saw Jalen Carter back. His impact. Alex Hunt early in the game was relentless. The big turning point was they hit that deep shot to Cooks, and then right after was the fumble by Josh Allen. Jahad Campbell went a long way to get that short field. The Eagles scored the touchdown, but just really, really impressive half defensively, all over Josh Allen.
All over him, John. It's an understatement. They really didn't give him anything in that first half. Josh was 7-10 for 90 in the first half. The team stats are the total yards in that half were 174, 121. So not that slanted, to be honest. Both had 5 drives in the half. Birds up 13-0. John, what'd you make of the Eagles' offense out there? I thought Jalen Hurts had a really good half. I mean, I know they've only scored 13 points, and one of them was aided by the fumble that the defense created, but I thought Jalen Hurts had a really good half of football, really extended plays, fit the ball into some tight windows. And if not for A.J. Brown getting mauled down by the goal line, I think he would have had another touchdown pass to him in the game. What'd you make of the offense in the first half?
Yeah, very sharp, accurate, extending the play phenomenally. A couple times it looks like he was dead to rights, got out, and that sort of is that back-breaking aspect that really affects the defense when you think you've done everything right. All of a sudden he's out the back end, making completions down the field. AJ, very impactful in the game, already 5 for 68. He's gone over 1,000 yards for all the talk about them not getting him to the football. The red zone stuff, the Dallas Goedert continue to get him open in the red zone. That's been solid all season. The red zone play, the red zone design has been tremendous.
Call. That first touchdown was a great call.
Early on, a lot of under center stuff. They were working a little bit more in the passing game. And then Saquon was dominating too at times in the running game, which kind of expected with that Buffalo run defense. But he's at 11-51. Looks like some potential. Jalen Phillips went down, but he was able to come back. Britton Covey went down, but he was able to come back. Saquon got shaken up, but everybody seems to be fine. So that's the biggest positive of all. But boy, the defense wouldn't let him breathe. And that last drive, that last Buffalo, you had the Jalen Carter sack. You had the big hit on Cook. You had the big hit by Reed Blankenship. Just you can tell they're feeling it defensively, and I don't know. I don't know how Buffalo's very limited offensively. Very limited.
Very
I
limited. Yeah,
mean,
they don't have a lot of places to go, but they have. I
no.
mean, John, that hasn't stopped them all year. So I got to give the Eagles defense credit. I mean, they're
No,
the
it's
number
got,
4. Yeah,
Superman's got to show up in the second half. It's like I
yeah.
said, either he makes plays out of nothing, or they're going to lose the football game. So, and I don't, Vic's defense is going to make it very hard. So I don't see it coming. It was just a very, very impressive performance in the first half.
No doubt. Good half of football for the Philadelphia Eagles. They lead 13-0. John, Bills get the ball first here in the second half. What do the Birds have to do here? One of the themes of the year, John, and it seems to be getting better in the last, I'd say, 3-4 weeks. But one of the themes early was they play a great half and then they play a poor half. And they did that several times in games this year. They need 2 halves of football today. What do they got to do here in half number 2 to close this game up?
Well, number one, I mean, what you want is not to give them hope. So, you'd love a 3 and out coming out and just pile on. We'll see if they can do it. But obviously, Buffalo will be adjusting on the other side. But, it's just going to be – it just seems like it's going to be so difficult for Buffalo to move the football in the passing game. So, you take out that Cooks play, which was a nice deep shot. It's just difficult, and that's something Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott will have to address in the offseason. But they have to get some outside receivers. I mean, they're just getting squeezed, and maybe it doesn't show up every week because everybody doesn't have Vic Fangio, but they're getting squeezed, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. John, good stuff, man. We'll talk to you on the post-game show. Let's see if the Birds can close this one up. They've played well in Buffalo so far.
All right, see you then.
All right, thanks, J-Mac. There's Johnny Mac. John McMullen joining me right here in the JAKIB Halftime Show. Appreciate all you guys being here today on the halftime. Don't forget to hit that like button. Birds up 13-0. I'll give you guys some of the numbers from the first half. Eagles have 10 first downs out there. They've run 36 plays to the Bills 25, and they have 174 total yards. I thought Jalen Hurts was great in the game, great in the first half. I thought he really had some of those third down throws that he made. I mean, that 3rd and 4, I know it was only 4 yards, but the to the first down was that throw to DeVonta Smith through those 2 defenders. That's a tough throw to make. And then he had the one to A.J. Brown on the sideline. I mean, he had a really nice first half, at least I thought. And then they got the 3rd and 12 where they didn't have a completion, but Jalen getting away from the pass rush and extending the play to run to the sideline completely changed what happened to the outcome. The Bills get flagged for an automatic first down on 3rd and 12, keeps the drive alive. So that drive ultimately ended up with a field goal. What a bad call. By the way, what a bad miss. I'm not a big ref complainer. What a bad missed call that was on A.J. Brown. I mean, the guy is to go up with one hand because the cornerback is groping his other arm. I mean, I put out on Twitter a picture of the rule. Now, again, I don't like to complain that much about the refs, but I'm going to on this one. I mean, this is the definition. Who wants to read the definition of PI? Illegally hindering an eligible receiver's opportunity to catch. Example, grabbing an arm, pushing off, hooking, or cutting off a receiver's path. I mean, he grabbed the arm as explicitly as you can grab an arm. He's holding on to AJ's arm like this, like it's his baby, like he's got an infant. I mean, and AJ tries to make, he almost made the catch, but I thought that was a ridiculous call. And then the hit on Jalen Hurts out of bounds. I mean, at what point are we going to, come on, man. I mean, they call that stuff on other quarterbacks for, you could poke another quarterback when they're out of bounds and you get a 15-yard call. They hit Jalen Hurts high and deck him, and he's clearly out of bounds, clearly slowed down. They didn't make the call. I'm like, what the fuck? Sorry for my language, but what the heck is that? I mean, make the call. One other gripe, all right? I know everybody, a good half of football. I can't be a Philly fan without giving you a gripe. This is my gripe with the first half, okay? This is my gripe with the first half for the Eagles. You come out in torrential downpour in Buffalo late in December versus one of the worst run defenses in football, and you throw the ball 3 straight times for a 3-and-out. Like, why? And then the very next drive, they have a 3rd and 8, and they do the coward's draw to Will Shipley. I mean, those are my only 2 gripes. I promise that's it. How do you come out 3 straight throws in Buffalo in a torrential downpour? I mean, I don't know what he's doing there, but whatever. He called a good half. Other than that, I had to rip him for that, though. I mean, come on, man. This shit's not hard, all right? This isn't rocket science here, man. Put the ball on the ground with Saquon Barkley. It's pouring cats and dogs out there in Buffalo. But whatever. It is what it is. The Eagles rebounded late. Good stuff, everybody. I appreciate you all being here. Let's get the 3 supers. Domenico says, I see a baker's dozen of glazed donuts for sales. Me too. Fleming says, Haley Steinfeld must be blowing the refs in the tent. Maybe. Jay says, Hurts looks too sharp. Put Tanner in. No, Jalen looks really good today. I know people are going to make that joke now for the rest of the year, but look, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick used to say football starts after Thanksgiving. Hurts had some bad games this year. He had a bad stretch. I think he looks the best he's looked all year in the last 3 games. I know you had the Raiders and the Commanders, but now the first half of the Bills game, he looks to me decisive again, much more accurate with the football, making plays again with his legs, escaping from the pocket. I think this is the version of Jalen Hurts that we need to make a run. All right? Not to be the pocket passer, not to be something he's not. The guy that can sit in there, make the plays when they come, escape the pocket when he needs to, be a playmaker outside of the pocket, use his legs to break the defenses back here and there. This is the Hurts that we need, and I think he'll continue to do that. Let's see what he does. 13-0 at half. All right? Bills are a great comeback team, everybody. So the Birds have to play 2 good halves of football. They've struggled with that this year. They have to play 2 good halves of football. All right? They have to play 2 good halves of football. Appreciate all you guys being here on the halftime show. Bills get the second half kickoff. Tune into the JAKIB Green Zone with Joe Krause. All right? Right after this, it'll redirect you right back there. Appreciate it. See you next time, everybody.
EAGLES. Eagles.